Morning and welcome back. Sorry about that. Now, continuing our everyday life interviews, I have a gentleman who is a career guidance coach. Helps you find your career, find your dreams, fulfill your every single goal that you have in life. And in studio, I have Peter Chiwomolo. Sir, you are welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
What do you do?
I'm a lecturer at Uganda Christian University.
Yes.
That is my day job. But I also have an evening job where I'm a team leader at Prudence Development Consult. And I'm here particularly in that role to tell Ugandans that we have a very good program that we promote, and that is about soft skills for young people, soft skills for workers, soft skills for leaders, soft skills for every human being that is in charge of taking a few people along with them to pursue goals.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So, finding a career.
Yes, please.
Some of us usually, when we are in high school, that's when we get to choose the courses that we want to do at university.
Yes,
and then after university, you find people doing certain courses, but when they finish, they're doing something totally different.
Yes, please.
How do you help an individual to find that particular career that they have to be doing for the rest of their life?
I think it is about taking them through understanding who they are, what are their passions, what are their strengths and weaknesses, and using that to be able to see how they fit into the environment in which they are. Many times, of course, we pursue careers not to the extent that they are in line with our passions and with our visions, but merely because they are circumstantially afforded to us. So we try our best then in that process to try to redirect the thinking, and also to make sure that the young people particularly come to understand who they are, and making them really sharpen their visions so that they can get the strength to traverse through the challenges as they pursue their goals. Yes.
And how long have you been doing this?
For about 3 years now, I've been doing this, and I'm happy to have had some good, very good, not very, no, I mean some results, yes. I'm not here to blow my own trumpet.
Yes.
But I think we are making headway, and particularly when we get to the issues of soft skills, trying to let these young people understand who they are, their strengths, their weaknesses, their emotional architecture, and how this impacts on how they can relate with the environments, especially the work environments, that will enable them navigate relationships, difficult relationships that many times are a hindrance to their career growth. We have very good programs, especially skills in areas of emotional intelligence, negotiations, personal branding, conflict management, communication, particularly because every relationship is about communication. And we offer them to a number of institutions. We have been to the armed forces. I've been to Chimaka myself, talked to army officers. I've been to Webaja, talking to police officers. I've talked to workers in parliament. I've been to the Human Rights Commission and many other institutions. And I think we are finding it particularly useful. We need to do a little bit more. We need to institutionalize, to consolidate this, and we are trying to roll out these programs, especially now that we are trying to partner, God willing, with the School of Psychology, so that we can take young people through this sort of training to add value to their technical skills, to make them more amenable to people, to make them more user-friendly to themselves and to the people around them, to make them to be, to make them people smart particularly, because that is where we are finding a very big challenge. Many people, we have very good lawyers, we have very good accountants, but you walk into an organization and you find you're almost dead on arrival. I mean, there's hardly any communication. The people are just in their own worlds. They don't talk to each other.
Demoralized.
And
I was watching a video of one of some tycoons up in Asia. It's called John Ma.
Yes.
He expressed the need for children to study soft skills.
Yes, please.
That in the future, machines will be able to replace more than 30,000 jobs. So the only thing that differentiates machines with humans are these soft skills, caring for one another, having the ability to have teamwork, this and that and that and that. And what the job that you're doing, how do people access it?
How do people access it? We have been marketing ourselves. We have been going to institutions, just like I came here to talk to you about this program. We move to them and we try to interest them. And those that we have done work with, then recommend us to others. But we need to see how best then we can market ourselves a little better. And since you are one of the experts in this field, we hope you can have some advice to give us.
Yeah.
But we want to move slowly but surely, but making a mark on especially the young people, particularly the young graduates, because, you know, we come to become who we are out of our environment. When we are growing up, we used to be in a community where everybody was, where a child was a member, belonged to everybody, and we had a lot of counseling, not only from your parents, but from the elders in the community, the churchmen, all those sorts of people. And that gave us an opportunity to have some bit of skills, especially people skills. But we have young people today who are raised by house girls. The parents are very busy moving up and down. Their only friend is WhatsApp and TV. So when it comes to interacting with people, it becomes a challenge. And yet, with their very good hard skills as lawyers, as engineers, they need to add and supplement those skills with people, interpersonal and intrapersonal, even intrapersonal skills, the personality skills within themselves. To
even become better at what they do.
Yeah.
And just before we wrap up, just a little bit of last word for the people where they can access you, maybe a phone number.
Yes, please.
And and one last word.
We are located at Teacher's House, suite number 202, but can also be accessed at the university, Uganda Christian University. And my telephone number is 0772 676933. I'm Peter Chiumulo, and I'm glad to have had an opportunity to talk to the people of Uganda about this.
Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And I hope these people who are, you know, confused in their careers and probably demoralized, because I know so many times
there's a lot of stress.
There's a lot of stress, and if you do not have the right guidance, you can give up. You can really, really give up. And well, if you are in challenge or you feel like what you're doing is not moving about, and probably everything you put your hands on is not fruitful, just contact Mr. Peter Chiumulo at 0702676933 for a career guidance opportunity. Well, coming up is another interesting interview on property. Stick around. Have a very good morning.
You're watching Morning at NTV.
Okukubiriza programu eno tuwaye n'okugitegeka libeera bbanja lyennyini tosobola kuwumula okutuusa ng'olisasudde. Entebe eno eteekwa okugasa abantu buli wiiki.
Omurasita kyanoonya gwe kyolina
lwa butayagala kumanya.
Exactly. Nobeera era bannange gavumenti etuyambe.
Nyongera kubabuulira nabagamba emyaka ng'ebiri egiyise nti lwakiri waliwo be neetaaga okusabira mukama abanonne.
Ebeera interview omuntu gy'ateekeddwa okulaba. Yattaluumu wamulabako n'amaaso.
Moses.
Wali omumanyi?
Nali mumanyi baali bayita Moses Safi.
Nti lwaki nkola activism? Museveni agenda okujja naye nze nga njagala Museveni.
Ne bagamba nti gavana waali.
Okunoonyereza n'okutegeera obulungi akyadde ku programu kikulu. Kijjayo emiramu emikulu tuwaye kwesimbi. Buli kimu tukyetegekera. Tutambula okunoonya abali mu buufu obw'emiramu egyatuwaye. Abalabi baffe baliko emboozi gye baagala okuwulira.
Okuva e Kaddugala paka Kampala
bajjira
ku motoka y'amatooke emabega.
Eyigiriza, esoomooza.
Naddukamu katono bwe ne gukuba omukono.
Paul Kinno Ssebe ekugwira.
Zino HV nnene.
Ewuniikiriza.
Yalowooza nti bagenda musalako kugwe. Yadduka.
Eteeka ku bunkenke.
Abaali mu ssabo yeefuula alagula aliko emmandu empitirivu ennyo nga mugajjajja byontumye embireesi nti ebiriwo ajja ekikapu akimugundira awo mu maaso ogenda okukebera nga mutwe gwa mwana omukazi n'agwa n'afeitinga
omwagala oli otya
naye n'akuddamu
nzimanyi nnyo ebbaluwa
kasonsomolera ng'erigoledde feddo
otyo tuwaye ekyusizza ate ekyayongera okukyusa ebiseera bya Uganda kubanga ddoboozi lyogerwa ate liwulirwa.
Raise the praise. Get inspiration. Rise up every morning with a song of praise to the Lord. A day in your courts is better than 1,000 elsewhere. Soul Moment, every Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
You're watching Morning at NTV.
Well, good morning and welcome to Morning at NTV. My name is Idris Matu and this is Everyday Life. Now, one of the things we search in life is a perfect home. A home that gives you the pleasure to, come from work and go home and relax, be with your family and be happy. And today we're having a guest who knows much more about property and homes. And in studio, I have Edwin Musime, Executive Director of Chamber of Young Entrepreneurs Uganda. So you are welcome.
Thank you very much.
Looking sharp, as always.
Thank you. I take that for a compliment.
Well, you're having the Home Expo.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
The Homes Expo was birthed by the property show that is aired on NTV every Sunday at 7:30. Yeah. We felt like we needed to create an entire ecosystem for which people would get value to understand fully what the real estate industry is like. So as part of our initiatives, we launched the Homes Expos that take place twice a year, March and in November. So today we are opening the one for March at Game and Shoprite, which is, by the way, free entry, starting at 9 a.m. today. But the Homes Expo, pretty much like our theme this year, again, we are still talking about access to quality housing. But our focus also is on affordable housing, which right now there's a number of challenges that are facing the industry that would affect that. But pretty much today, again, running from today, Friday and Saturday, we have gathered a wide range of exhibitors who are dealing in different real estate products. We want people out there to come and interface with some of these players to get to understand what it means to have actually some quality material for your housing, because it's not just enough to aspire for a home. It should be a quality home or for a quality lifestyle. And there's amazing innovations in the industry. We're talking about affordable housing. There's quite a number of brands that we've brought on board: Universal Properties, Comfort Homes, that are giving a bit of affordability in terms of housing. Mirembe Villas now is also moving into affordable housing. So there's quite a lot for everybody that is watching in terms of the Homes Expo.
What is the gap that you're trying to close up?
The hugest challenge and dilemma that we still face in the real estate sector for the last couple of, say, 2-3 decades, it's been the same problem. Affordable housing, but away from affordable housing, the housing deficit for the last 2-3 years, not much is being done about it. We know that we have a housing deficit of about 1.2 million housing units nationally. And in Kampala, we have a housing deficit. Some statistics indicate it's about 200,000. Some statistics indicate it's 500,000. But when you do the math and look at the statistics, we're given that by 2040, we would have grown a population of up to about 40 million. The urbanization rate is ever increasing. Now, the question of housing, now putting aside affordable or not affordable, the question of housing for us is very paramount. Now, you take a case study, we've got Property Show Rwanda and Ghana. I give you a case study of Kigali, Rwanda, where, again, I always call upon the government that whereas the private sector is doing its part, the government needs to come in. the government of Rwanda just last year passed and commissioned an affordable housing committee, which now has, by the way, passed a budget to create about 530 homes that probably by July will be done.
Oh,
the entire project is going to give Rwanda about 22,000 housing units. But when you look at the Ugandan situation right now, apart from the private sector's role in housing, not much is coming from the government. And my concern always has been, until infrastructure development versus housing becomes priority to the government, we are not yet talking development. Because I always say this, I've said this before on the same show, that the only way you can tell France is a first world is when you're landing into Paris and you've got the Eiffel Tower and beautiful roads and all that kind of thing. Kigali right now building one of the largest airports in Africa that's very iconic, following the trend that is in Dubai with the infrastructure growth and development. And I think for me the talk needs to be in that direction. We talk about physical planning. We all know how terrible our planning has been, how the execution to follow through the physical planning is horrible. You have now modern slums coming up. So there's a lot that needs to be done.
Slums?
Modern slums. I call them modern slums because
like
I was in Kigali and there's an interesting scenario. If you're living in a kololo of Kigali, there's a type of houses that are allowed there. And there are certain plans that are allowed there. Now, if you have a house not matching that, they'll give you two options. Within this period of time, this is the master plan for this area. Would you be able to actually effect that? No, I cannot. Okay, thank you. You'll be paid off. Find another place that you can live. But now you go to Buziga, Nali, and you find some lovely homes, then some slums in there. And again, you're not blaming the people there, but critically speaking, where is the master plan? We keep talking about the master plan, the master plan, the master plan. In Kigali, when I met with Dr. Musoni, the Minister for Housing, off the fingertips, he would share with you the Vision 2020 of Kigali. Actually, right now, Vision 2020 Kigali, they are now beginning to see how they can incorporate Vision 2025. Because 20 is done pretty much. But off his fingertips, he knew what the master plan is. He knew what the agenda for affordable housing is. Now they've encouraged more investors globally to come in, and they've set aside about 300,000 hectares of land just for foreign investors to come in and invest in different mixed housing projects, affordable housing, and all that kind of thing. So that's why I keep saying the gap we're looking at here. Obviously, what's the dream of every young person from university? Usually I say there's three things. You're either thinking of a wife and kids and a car. Now, frankly speaking, it seems like those two are now very easy to get. You can get a wife,
any car,
you can get
anywhere,
a car.
in a bar.
But there's huge problems, by the way, that the market needs to understand. I was sharing with Oliver Lalani at Roofings. Steel prices are terribly high, not Uganda alone, but globally because of China's decrease in supply and production. Now you find a steel bar alone that was about 50,000, 55,000, now is about 60, in some stores you would find it at about 67,000 Uganda shillings. Cement is, there are stores you go to, and we're right now building the property show model home, but you find that there are certain seasons or weeks where cement is not even on the market. Sand has run out. Right now, the next option, when I speak to experts, they're saying we're going to move to using stone dust. Stone dust, if you were buying a brick, a 9x9 brick at 3,500, you'll buy a stone dust brick at about 7,000. So the prices of construction are increasingly getting higher, while URA now is also coming in to say we shall introduce the property tax. Now, as if that's not enough, of course, many real estate players complain of the double taxation involved in all this and all kind of things. So our worry and concern is that the costs of constructions are increasingly going higher. And, well, the Bank of Uganda came in this year to reduce the CBR, and we've been watching the banks to see what they can do with the mortgage rates. It was shocking when I was in Canada, and their mortgage rate, the mortgage rates are as low as 2.3%. 2.3%. In Uganda, we are averaging between 18 to 20%. But again, because of the volatile economic conditions, these are not static. They keep changing, which becomes increasingly difficult. So for us, our cause and call is, of course, to individuals, to the young and the old. Number one, we are saying, if you can access any land anywhere, please spare whatever penny you have and get that land. Because between you and me, now actually, it's no longer a case of I'm encouraging you to get your own land. No, I'm actually now telling parents, you ought to be thinking about acquiring your own land and your children's land. Because by the time our kids grow up, a 50 by 100 in Buziga, Muyenga, and Tida, right now you're talking about 100 million, 120 million. That time you probably will be talking about $1 billion shillings with the inflation rates going on. So the real estate sector for us is a sector we're telling people that it's very critical. It's very important. Some of us grew up, our mothers telling us, you're not yet a man until you've got a home. So for us, home shelter is very, very important and very vital. And again, that's where my call to the government is, that whereas the private sector is playing its part, they need to come in. Because even when you look at the regulation of the prices, it's a laissez-faire market. It's a liberalized economy, and anybody's got their own pricing, and it's crazy out there. But nonetheless, for us at the Homes Expo, we are engaging, and at the property show, we keep engaging. And the positive, I'm not going to talk about the negatives alone. I'll talk about the positives, that when you look at the real estate sector currently, I mean, name it, whether it's Nationwide Properties or Mirembe Villas, I mean, gone are the days where we thought of just bungalows. Now you have all sorts, there are times,
of designs,
there are times people call me at the property show and say, but Edwin, stop showing us foreign houses, show us our own houses. Like, hang on a minute, those houses exist. The positive is, we see the industry now evolving, that architectural designs are changing, they are turning around, and that for me is a sense of transformation. But when we talk about quality housing, we're talking about good infrastructure, good roads, piped water, and also what we're encouraging people now, stop just thinking about Kampala. Begin to go outside the Wakiso areas and those areas outside Kampala, because even those outside areas with the urbanization rates, very soon those same properties are going to be increasing in value because of the urban population explosion. So our agenda has been simple: to educate people out there to understand what the reality is today. And for every young person or every person out there, like I say, I reiterate, land is the most valuable resource you can invest in and acquire for yourself.
It's an asset.
It's an asset. It's an asset. It's literally one of those most long-lasting assets you need to your name. That's very important. But also, when people are getting into construct, we're encouraging them, come to the expo, watch the property show, learn the trends, know how to go around the corners, know what's available on the market. So it helps for people to also know the variety. We have architects who are going to be showcasing some of the modern homes. We have a company that has designed the property show model home, and it's an example to some of the viewers that, for instance, we're dealing with a 50 by 70 piece of land. It was quite small, but wanted to create the model show home, and deliberately we use that small piece of land to showcase that most people, again, that's the kind of piece of land they have. But when you look at how it was designed, of course we lifted it up, and the ground floor is starting from the slab, and you create an entire huge space down for the compound and all that. So it's some of these ideas we want people to understand and appreciate about real estate so that we can get a better housing sector.
Is there a particular theme at the Home Expo?
Our theme this year, again, we're following through with the thread line of access to quality housing. And I think one of the other exciting things that the people out there need to come and find is the gardeners. We're encouraging every home. I mean, when you go to Europe, it's so shocking. Every home, you find trees and flowers. It's the opposite in Africa. You get into a property, the first thing you want to do is cut down the tree. So, but we've got a lot of gardeners there. They've got very fascinating plants that apparently chase away snakes, plants that chase away mosquitoes. Then there's some interesting plants that I saw yesterday when we were setting up. Plants that actually give out a floral aroma into a home. When you enter a home, it's like a natural perfume and all that. So there's quite a lot of exciting stuff that every viewer out there can get to actually find at the Homes Expo.
Instead of us always looking for air freshness and all that. And probably we can use natural plants to do some of this work.
Exactly.
Now, since we are running out of time, just remind the people when the Home Expo is, how they can get to you.
The Homes and Property Expo, of course, proudly brought to you by the Property Show on NTV, is starting today. And we are, by 9 a.m. we'll expect everybody to be coming in. We'll be in from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. That is Thursday, today, Friday and Saturday, which is a family experience. It is all free entry. It is at Game and ShopRite. So when you come in at Game and ShopRite, you'll see where the tents are pitched and all that. Come, it's an exciting experience, and I believe that as we talk about evolving and innovating and transforming our country, it will be a worthwhile experience for the viewers out there to come out at the expo and experience what we've got for them.
So before you go, CYE, what do you do?
The Chamber of Young Entrepreneurs is an organization I founded 2 years ago, but for 2 years we were researching our processes and getting it together. Why? Because we realized Uganda is acclaimed as one of the youngest growing populations in the world. But that comes with a myriad of its own problems. Like Uganda, Microsoft once quoted us being one of the fastest growing African countries with the highest business startups. But the business startups never live to see beyond 700 days. So the Chamber of Young Entrepreneurs now is getting together young entrepreneurs. Right now we've got about 2,000 registered young-owned businesses. It will shock you. We've got some young people at 27, 28 who are running businesses grossing up to about 200 million a month. So we're trying to, in Uganda. So we have the Entrepreneurship Summit on the 3rd and 4th of April here at the Kampala Serena for 2 days, which actually is also proudly sponsored by NTV. Entry fee for the 2 days is 25K. But what we're trying to do is, for long we've been saying the education system is bad, or there's unemployment rates, and what we're telling the young people, before the government comes in, what can we young people do? I just had a meeting with the Guardian Pharmacy guy, the director, Natif. He's a guy we grew up together in SETA, and right now Guardian Pharmacy is worth millions of dollars. If you've been around different areas in Tinder, you'll see Guardian Pharmacy. But did people know out there that actually this guy is just as good as my age? I won't mention my age, but he's a young man like me. You've seen Maxi, the Livara lady. So I think there's a revolution going on right now, and for us, just like our slogan says, the spirit of entrepreneurship, we believe that if Uganda can be a first world country, the young people out there, we need to collaborate and actually begin to work together to see and build the Uganda we want to see, instead of waiting for the government to Yamba and all that. We've seen a lot of potential. We're launching district business models, where in every district we're going to have a business model for young people out there to not only get employment, but also to learn from those models. Then after we establish the models, we'll find the markets, both locally and globally. So CY is, we call it the orange world. It's doing some phenomenal things for the young people of Uganda.
All right, well, that was Edwin Musime, very passionate about property and entrepreneurship. If you want to continue the conversation, go to our website, which is www.ntv.co.ug, or our social media platforms. That is Facebook, social media, Instagram, and look out for Morning at NTV or NTV Uganda. If you want to talk to me directly, go to EDRISMATU and tell me, what do you want to see on the show? What do you want to talk about? What do you want to be inspired to do? Well, coming up next is Moses Mtia. Have a very good morning. Oh, well.